Hey, it's Simeon Henderson, and welcome to my favorite day of the week. It's Thursday night, and guess why it's my favorite day? It's because I get to give a voice to the people, and I get to hang out with you guys for a little while, and that makes me happy. And you know what time of the year it is? It's giving time. It's Thanksgiving time, and it's time to give and think about mankind and people out there that are less fortunate, and how can we help and give back? So I invited two of my friends on the show, and they're giving back to the people in a huge way. I'm talking about from giving away thousands of turkeys to giving job opportunities to people that's been locked up for years that can't get a job, and giving them a second chance, and just making a difference in the neighborhood for the city of Chicago. And it's just an awesome, awesome thing. And you're going to see who they are. It's going to be fun. Both of the brothers don't have no hair, so it's going to be a cool show for me. And we're always giving a voice to the people. And hold on to your seats, because it's about to go down right now on the Simeon Henderson Show. All right, everybody, let's get started. You're watching the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. Big shout out to my executive producer, Jamani Anamdi, out in Miami, Florida, and my producer right here, Jose Perez. And big shout out to my marketing director, Ashley Easley, and everybody that supports the Simeon Henderson Show. I'm going to jump right into it. It's that time of year where it's time to give. It's time to give, and you should be giving all year, but particularly at this time, it's cold outside. People don't have a lot. They don't have places to go, but there are people that are making a difference in this world, and I'm sitting here with one of them right now. Welcome, Tyrone Wideman, to the Simeon Henderson Show. What's going on, Ty?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, Ty.
Yes.
I know that you're huge on giving back to the community, and you started Ben's Barbecue on the west side of Chicago on North Avenue and Mason, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'd like to give a little bit of background on how we got where we were. You know, one of the things that we tried to do when we originally opened up the restaurant, we began to talk about what are we going to do to make a difference? Because everybody has a restaurant. You know, everyone is doing that restaurant thing. And so because I did a little research from my previous life, I realized that in this area, on the west side, in the 29th Ward, we have the largest recidivist rate in the country.
Okay.
And so with that in mind, we began to look at what could we do to make a difference. Linda Leslie, who is the co-owner of Ben's Barbecue, she was the one who really started this effort. She actually said, if we don't hire him, who will?
Okay.
And so we went to City Hall, and we began to seek funding in order to hire individuals with backgrounds.
Okay.
And the difficulty is that we didn't just want to hire folks. We wanted to be able to give them a career as well. That meant that we weren't just going to hire them making $10.50, $11.50 an hour.
Right.
We seek to give them anywhere from $15 to $17 an hour.
Okay.
Which we thought was a major undertaking in order to make sure that folks had a career as far as in the restaurant is concerned.
So now you're talking about taking people that has a criminal background, who's done jail time, and we all know what that's like for the African American community. You come out and you try to get a second chance at life and try to have a do-over, as I would say, but then there's this stamp on your back that holds you back from moving forward. And now here you come with the program, you and Linda and Ben's Barbecue come with the program, Dream Makers. Dream Makers, where you're taking people and you're giving them a second chance, not only just to be employed, but to make a career out of it, being a chef, learning how to run a restaurant, and learning business sense and how to move forward and get better in the world. Let me ask you this really quick. What gave you this idea that you wanted to just make a difference and help somebody?
Well, once again, I used to be a banker, and being a banker, I thought I was pretty successful, and I lived on the West Side all of my life, and when I came back to work with Linda at the restaurant, I tried to think of something that I can do. And once you get older, too, you try to do a lot of good things. That's a joke. And so one of the things that we wanted to do is to hire individuals. We figured that if we can hire people in the neighborhood, it would allow them an opportunity to have, because most of the folks have low self-esteem or no esteem at all.
Right.
And so that makes a difference. So what we did originally, without even knowing if they were going to be employed with us, we were fortunate to get a grant from the city. And we actually hired 25 individuals, trained 25 individuals, and got their manager's license. And that, if everyone knows, that's one of the higher qualifications if you're going to be in a restaurant. And most of the folks, only 7 of them work with us. So that meant that the other 15 or 16 did not. So we got them their license as well. And so they didn't work with us, but they were able to be qualified to work at other restaurants. Right. And so that felt pretty good to us in order to do those things. And another thing, what Linda kind of spearhead was to have individuals within, especially those individuals who do the window washers.
Right.
We actually hired those individuals just to clean the neighborhood.
Man.
And what they ended up doing was just sweeping the alleys, sweeping in front of people's homes, and everybody in the block actually talked about how nice it was in order to make that happen. But let me tell you a little bit about Dream Makers, because I think if I don't do Dream Makers the justice that it needs, I think people are going to oversimplify it. When I thought about Dream Makers, I'm sorry to go right into that, but
go ahead.
when I thought about Dream Makers, I didn't want to have a program. I didn't want to be governed by a grant. I wanted to be able to do something for individuals in the neighborhood. For example, when I as I work in a restaurant, people know my background because I was a business developer, tax person, you name it. So from young folks who are there in the neighborhood versus even the politicians know who I am. And so one of the things I began to do is actually counsel people, young men that come into the restaurant and say, this is what they want to do. So I would spend time talking to folks about a career choice, where you don't have to leave the neighborhood to be successful. You can actually do it right there in the Austin area. And so what ended up happening was, as I began to talk to young folks, I found out some of them had the same ideas as others.
Right.
And so what I began to do was match them together. So for example, I had a young man that wanted to start a clothing store. He did it online. The other young man that I spoke to actually had the bricks and mortar. So I put those two individuals together.
So he had the location and he had the product.
Exactly. So they began to do that. So Dream Makers is like this. It's really an opportunity for us to sit down with individuals that have somehow got off track from their, I want to say, their career choices. And so what we want to be able to do is match them with folks that can, I don't want to say they mentor them, they can just spend 5 minutes with them, making that connection for them. They don't have to have backgrounds. It can be anyone that is on the west side of Chicago. I've spoken with the likes of Camille Lilly, Chris Talaveria, also Congressman Danny Davis, who's really been instrumental in us really doing this second chance. Because I've sat on a couple of committees with that have been led by Congressman Danny Davis. And one of the things that we've talked about, and I'm jumping back and forth and I apologize, with those individuals who have backgrounds, we're actually trying to get the check the box off the application. You don't know how instrumental that is.
Yes, it is.
Because you can get the check the box that I'm not a felon off the application, it at least allows that individual to get into the door. But that's not the toughest part. When people come out of prison, it's another culture. It's not just giving them a job. They need other support in order to make this thing happen. I can't tell you how many times individuals have worked from one address, and then by a month later, in that neighborhood, they've changed another address. And so there's no stability. I can't tell you how often when they're out of prison that they go back. We've had individuals that came out one week and went back the next week and came back again. So even though, I have this project of trying to match people together to get a job, the job isn't the only thing.
So there's trials with everything you do. You're gonna have successes, you're gonna have setbacks and drawbacks, but the point is to keep going. And I'm listening to everything that you're saying, and just to be frank, I'm one of those young guys that you've talked to and gave me insight and information about different ways to grow business wise and getting this information is so important. And like you said, it is mentoring. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, I don't care if it's 5 hours or 5 weeks. Mentoring is mentoring. And what you're doing is super dope. And when we think about Dream Makers and Ben's Barbecue and everything that you're talking about, my thing is this. I hear everything about people. You're really into people and building up people. My question to you is, when did people become your purpose? And it's okay that you're going on about different things, because that's what the show is about. It's about you telling your story, about you me giving a voice to the people, and you letting us know what you do. But I want to know, and I know the people want to know, when did you decide that your purpose was to help people?
Well, when I was in the financial arena, I was with a group called the Urban Bankers Forum of Chicago, which was a group of executives that actually paved the way for young bankers in the financial environment. And so what ended up happening is that I was one of the few black managers. So when they would go to when they would go and recruit at the black colleges, what ended up happening is that they couldn't figure it out. And so they would end up transferring that person to my department. So I had all these young, successful people that were really high-powered in college, and now they're lost. And so then they gave them to me, and I had to actually work with them and actually restore their confidence in what they wanted to do. So I did it there. Then when I came out, I began to actually talk to my own kids and my family members and people that I work with. I started in a group called International Tax Advisors, and I began to do things in that area as well, because I used to go down to, and this ain't international, but I spent a lot of time in Mississippi because I didn't even know how antiquated Mississippi was about 10 years ago.
Okay.
I had a client that was actually a self-made millionaire, and they didn't really know what to do with the money they had. They had millions of dollars, but they really didn't know how to do it effectively.
Okay.
As far as spend. So I started just doing that kind of stuff, and then when I got in the neighborhood itself, I began to see folks for whom they are. They were not bad people. They were just needing someone to help, to just give them that extra help. Okay. And I got to say this real quick. In the neighborhood, my name is Tyrone, but I'm known as Ben affectionately. And, even the gang members per se will tell me if they have someone that they want to have work part-time, they will bring them over and say, hey, why don't you let them work? And we will do that. So we have a mixture of all kind of folks working there. My kids love it. They love to work there. So, but anyway.
No, that's good. That's good. So everybody, you're watching the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. You are hearing the story of Tyrone Wideman and his partner of Ben's Barbecue. It's Linda. It's just one of those things where it's such a treat to hear and see what you're doing in the neighborhood. We're going to keep following you and keep letting people know what's going on with Dream Makers Project and the things you're doing in the neighborhood to help build up not only the neighborhood but the city. And lastly, let everybody know, what is your heart's desire?
when you say that, say it one more time.
So, what is your heart's desire? Meaning, at the end of all of this, everything that you're doing, what do you want to see happen? You're working with people, you're building them up, you're getting the box check taken off of the application where it says felon, just so to give people a better chance, and just wanting to see people grow and have more and own their own businesses and be successful. Where do you see that going?
Well, it's kind of funny you would say that. You know, one of the things that, you know, I'm in the hood. You know, people ask, how did I get out of the hood? How did I think about getting education and stuff like that? And it's really funny. Most of the people who know me, I really care about their well-being. Even the people in the restaurant, you know, and the people who work for me. The people that come by there, the first thing they say is, it's Ben here. And my name is Tyrone, but they'll say Ben. And I sit down and listen to them. And a lot of times, all they want to do is talk about what's going on. They want someone to hear them. And Linda, who does my magnificent job of running the restaurant, and one of the things I try to do is be the socialite, you might want to say, and make sure that everyone is comfortable when they come in there. So there's nothing for them to come in and sit down and talk for 20, 25 minutes. And their food would get cold, and I would say, hey, your food is getting cold. And say, I don't care about that. So to answer that question, you know, I'll be 70 years old next year. And one of the things I really want to see happen is to make sure that our black men have an opportunity and have a dream, because if they don't have hope, I mean, it's a catastrophe. You know, people who don't have hope don't have anything. They don't have to have money. If they just know that there's a tomorrow and they'll be able to do something that's pretty interesting or good or something that people would like. And so, not to be long-winded, I think just to make sure that people have something that that they can look forward to from day to day.
There you have it, everybody. Big Ben. Tyrone Wideman from Ben's Barbecue. And I appreciate you, and you don't look 70 at all.
I feel it, though.
So, man, I appreciate you coming on the show and giving people the insight to who you are and what you and Linda are doing on the west side of Chicago, and just building that up and giving people an opportunity. We have the Dream Makers program, which is, and then I'll say this, you have one ex-felon who was locked up for 25 years. That's and now he's been out. How long has he been cooking for you?
About 11 years.
Yes. And that's my brother Ed. I know Ed. Really great guy. And all the people that are in there, I get to come in there and just come in the back and chill and talk to everybody. And it's really cool. And when I'm back there, people come in and they're like, hey, I know that guy from somewhere. So I'm eating my turkey tips and hanging out with you. But I appreciate you. And everybody, you can find Tyrone, a.k.a. Big Ben, on North Avenue in Mason. That is on the west side of Chicago, right before Oak Park. And you can go get you some great barbecue and great conversation. So say bye to everybody.
Hey, see you later, and hope to see you. If you want barbecue, think of Ben's.
There you have it, everybody. We'll be right back with our next guest. You are going to like this guy as well. He's going to let us know what's going on with him and why he does what he does. I have two powerful black men on the show today, and they are giving back to the community in a huge way as we do this show about Thanksgiving and giving back to our communities. I'll be back with you in a minute. Hey, what's up, everybody? Tune into the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. We need you to take the word out to the masses. So make sure you support and log in to the Simeon Henderson Show every Thursday night live on Facebook and YouTube, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Facebook page, the Simeon Henderson Show. We need you. All right, everybody, we're back with the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. We're sitting here having a great time. You just saw Tyrone Wideman with Ben's Barbecue, and now I'm sitting here with the one and only Mr. Quentin Love, and it is an awesome.
You got the name right
all the time, man. Come on. So just so everybody knows, it's a little between us, I call him Quincy sometime. But
That's a
and
shame.
I try to cover it up by saying it's easy to say
And he
Quincy
spells my
instead of
name
Quentin.
wrong too. Sis, he got it right today.
But we're gonna move past that.
We move past it. It's 2019.
So hey, everybody, you know it's that time of year when you talk about giving back, giving to the communities, and feeding the homeless, feeding people less fortunate, and just making a huge difference in the city, and not only in the city, but in your communities and in the world as a whole. I'm sitting here with Quentin Love, and this man has been giving back since he was a young guy. But he owns Turkey Chop over on Chicago Avenue, 3605, right?
3506.
3506.
3506.
3506.
Is it Simeon or Simeon?
You know my name. But 3506 West Chicago Avenue, Turkey Chop is the place where every Monday they feed the homeless. But not only that, let's get into this time of year. Last year, I think you had 1,000 turkeys.
No, we did 2,000 last
They
year.
did 2,000 turkeys last year. And this year they're doing 2,000 turkeys again, as well as much more. Myself, a bunch of my celebrity friends, and a bunch of people will be out there helping.
You coming?
I will be there. And I won't be in front of the camera unless my producer Jose gets there. But I will be bundled up, passing out hot chocolate,
Last year you
passing
got
out turkey.
sick.
And I did get sick
I
because I was
told you
trying to be
last
cute.
year, put on a coat. Yeah, you was trying to do what?
I was trying to be cute.
Trying to look cute. It ain't gonna work.
So,
Ain't gonna work.
so cute. Let's get into it, brother. Now, let's start here. You own a restaurant.
Yeah.
So that means that you can cook. Right?
A little bit.
So let's go back. Let's start
Poquito.
here. Let's start here. What made you want to be a chef or a cook?
Man, my grandmother actually. My grandmother taught me how to cook. I started cooking when I was 5 years old.
Oh,
baking
okay.
cakes at 7 years old. Standing on a stool, cooking breakfast, and then before you know it, I was doing full blast meals by 10 years old. Flat out.
Really?
Yeah.
So you making Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner, you making full breakfasts, 10 years
You're going
old.
too far. I made full breakfast, the best pancakes and all that in a time frame. I didn't get the soul food until later, but
Okay.
I had mastered the art of cooking breakfast
Okay.
in my early years.
That's what's up. Okay. So I'm not going to tell everybody that breakfast is the easiest thing to cook. No, I'm joking. I know some people that can burn eggs. How do you burn scrambled eggs?
Easy. Got the flame up too high.
Yep, got the flame up too high, and you don't coat the skillet with either olive oil or
You can't
butter.
no cook with olive oil.
Butter, right?
Yes.
Butter for the eggs. So catch that.
If you put real butter, a little touch of oil, the butter doesn't burn.
Did you get that? So let me ask you this: where did you? So was it your grandmother that inspired you to cook?
Anytime I cook, it's all about my grandmother.
Okay.
Seriously.
So that's where the love comes
Grandma, I know you're going to watch this. It's all for you. So when I pick you up, Thanksgiving, be ready. We're going to the family's house.
And
She
I
gives
met-
me a hard time.
And I met your grandmother.
You
I have a
did.
picture of her. She's so sweet. She gave me the biggest hug, like she was
She
my
sweet to
grandmother.
you?
She was sweet to me.
No.
She
My
probably used to
grandmother
whoop
put
you.
the hammer down.
She
She
probably
whooped
used to
me
whoop
one
him
time
and never had
with
to
the
do it
wrong
again.
part of the belt, with the buckle.
Oh wow.
And while she was whooping me, I was like, Grandma, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Wait, turn the belt around. It was just all wrong. Grandma, listen. And then when I got grown, she smacked me with the backhand.
Oh wow.
With the ring. She had a ring
with
on.
the ring? Oh, she knocked
ugly.
a tooth out, did she?
Embarrassed me in front of my friends.
Oh, wow.
Grandma, be ready for Thanksgiving. I'm picking you up. We're going to the family house. What's the question?
So here we go. We'll get into it, everybody. It's all about family, about love, about fun, about giving back. But here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So your philanthropy is outstanding.
Thank you, man.
And
Appreciate
you're
it.
just always in the communities. And I'm not talking about just your community. You're traveling abroad, going to different places throughout the city. You travel states, and you're just really, really making a difference, brother. And I see what you're doing, and people are taking note because we need more people like you. And my question to you is, how did this become your purpose? How did this become something that became so near and dear to you that you just had to make sure people were happy?
Well, I struggled. Whenever a man goes through a struggle period, he learns something. And when I went through this struggle, I realized that I was too busy trying to own businesses, and I needed to like just pause for a minute and do something that was totally against business. It's just give. And when I did that, the businesses actually grew.
You know, I mean, and everybody knows out there, everybody knows I'm a man of faith. And I never impose my faith on anybody, but I just believe what I believe.
Yes.
And I know that it says what you make happen for a man, mankind, what you make happen for another man, mankind, man or woman, you know, got to make it happen for you.
Yes.
And so it's that thing, give and it shall be given unto you. Give
Absolutely.
measure. So what I'm hearing you say is you got out of the way of Q and wanted to make all this money, and you started to have a heart for people. And that's not always easy,
And
man.
I thought I did at first. I thought I had a heart.
Right.
But I was just actually practicing.
Yeah, man. Well, but the thing is this. It's so cool when we can go through different things and we can learn and we can grow.
Right.
And everybody always laughs at me because I always say no one is immune to the trials and tribulations of life. And you know, when you have trials, you know, they're really stepping stones.
Yes, learning.
It's a learning process. And what you're doing is if you've mastered it to a point where you can effectively change lives. And how does it make you feel when you see someone's face light up because now they have the nourishment for them and their family and the food to feed their family? How does that make you feel?
It feels great. It feels great. I meet the random stranger every Monday. I mean, you have the hundreds and hundreds of people that line up. I see familiar faces, but I see the random stranger. And you never know whose father that is, whose uncle, whose cousin, whose friend that is,
right,
that came into that line, and he just looks at me and he said, you know, thank you.
Right.
I'm like, man, thank you, appreciate you. And you just never know what kind of blessing you gave him, but I know what blessing it gave me. I felt it. I felt the passion. I felt the connection. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
So let me ask you this. Outside of giving your time and your resources and your service, what makes Quentin happy?
Love. My last name. Seriously, love makes me happy. I'm happy anyway. One of the great masters of philosophy said, you don't get happiness out of life. You bring happiness to it, right? You don't get happiness by outside things.
Right.
You only can get it within yourself.
Come on now.
Right? So what makes me happy is I'm happy. I just choose to be happy.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
I totally get what you're saying.
It's just a choice.
I totally get it.
I'm happy.
Yeah. And what you're saying.
For no reason at all.
No, that's it, my man. For no reason.
That's it.
And listening to you say that, I'm kind of getting the chills because that's confirmation for me. Because my next project is a motivational album where people can listen to and get everything that they need and be inspired. And one of the things I talk about, and I'm always talking about this lately, is your purpose, who you are. You have to love yourself first.
Right.
If you can't love yourself, how can you love someone else? If you can't give to yourself, how can you give to someone else? If you can't push yourself, how can you push someone else? It starts with you.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't really understand that. The way that you get to it is begin to practice loving others.
Okay.
It's a practice outside of you, and then before you know it, you actually begin to love yourself more.
And so you have to do it on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a practice. It's like when you do a push-up, you have to practice being nice with people that you've never been nice to.
Come on. I love that analogy you just used with the push-up because I talk about in life you have to get your reps. And I break that down, REP, meaning you have to be resilient, you have to get some education, you have to have some perseverance.
Right.
So when you get your reps in,
that's a T-shirt.
There it is. There it is. And when you get your reps in, that's when you grow. And we all know, and another thing that I want to talk about is the fact that you're not only giving back. And so November 27th at 3506 West Chicago Avenue, I'm letting you all know right now on the Simeon Henderson Show, if you're available at 12 p.m., from 12 p.m. until the turkeys run out, come out. and support.
Please.
You can pass out hot chocolate. You can pass out turkeys. You can make sure people got warmers.
Give hugs.
You can give hugs. You can give a smile. I don't care if it's only for 15 or 20 or 30 minutes. We need you to come on out and be a part of this thing. And it's so cool.
It should be volunteers. It should be thousands of volunteers to match the thousands of people that are there to receive. We should meet them.
We should have a volunteer per person of need.
That's amazing.
A volunteer per person of need. I'm reaching out to you guys right now. 1 for 1.
Yes.
We should have 1 for 1.
Yes.
Okay? I'm asking you guys right now to join Quentin and myself and Van Johnson, Mark Harris, David Leonard, Malcolm Banks, Tahara J, and all of the people that's Jose Perez, all the people that's going to come out for this event. I want you guys to come out with us and make a difference for somebody else. Do something selfless. And talking about selfless,
and bring something too, because you know when you're looking in the line, you can see someone they need some gloves. You can look at the ground and see they need some shoes right then.
I'm glad you said that.
They need a hat right now.
I'm glad you said that.
They need a coat right now. A scarf right now. Bring that. Stop. Grab that. Go to Target, Walmart, go wherever. Grab a few. I guarantee you, there's going to be someone that's going to need it. Just say, hey, I got something for you.
I'm glad you said that. I'll make sure I bring a few symbolic sweatshirts to pass out. I wasn't even thinking, but see, this is what I'm talking about, people. When you talk about giving a voice to the people and you actually hear what the people are saying, you'll find out what the people need. Yeah. And speaking of need and giving back, Turkey Chop. It's a healthy place. You guys have turkey products, all types of different foods that are good for you, that are delicious, right? And then on top of that, you're into fitness as well, right?
I'm trying. I'm working on it.
But are you still doing the spin classes?
We're still doing the spin class. I opened up a gym 2.5 years ago by the name of Bike Kettle. It's at 4353 West on North Avenue. If you enjoy spin, if you never spin before, come and ride with us. It's a party on a bike. So then we decided to open up another location out south. Okay. Right? So that's 345 East on 75th Street. So bikekettle.com. And we're doing a fundraiser tomorrow night and Saturday night. So go to bikekettle.com, click the turkey fundraiser, and come and sweat. We're raising funds for turkeys. We still got to get more money. Okay. Right, for the turkeys. So we got a couple of fundraisers coming up. So be a part of it. Come to Bike Kettle and also show up on the 27th. So let everybody know what link they can go to or site they can go to in order to give. Because you guys, if you can't make it out, you can give. I don't care if it's $5. I don't care if it's $500. Whatever you can give, it makes a difference. Just think, if you had 5,000 people give $5, that's a lot of money. We can do it. Right? That's a lot of money. So the turkeys are going to cost $14,000 to $15,000. The guy that's providing for me, he's at $1.16 a pound right now. He said the turkeys have went up, and he usually takes care of me every year, but I got to buy them. Right, the turkeys are not free. Right. I wish that there was somebody out there that has turkeys unlimited that next year they can just donate the whole 1,000 or 2,000 turkeys. Right. So please, if you're out there, contact me directly. But guess what, fellas? Guess what, family? We have to buy the turkeys. They're not free. Yeah. So we're talking about giving back to the communities, giving to the less fortunate, doing something selfless, coming out of our pocket to help, whether it's with $5 or $500, whatever you can give. We want you to give to the cause, because Turkey Chop has taken it upon themselves to make sure that they do their part to make a difference. And Quentin, we appreciate you so much for that. We're looking forward to it. Let everybody know the address to Turkey Chop and the time and the date that they can come out next week and be a part of this awesome event. So 3506 West on Chicago Avenue, that's Turkey Chop. Go to turkeychop.com, and even on the Turkey Chop site, there's a donate button. You can click that one, okay? But we're going to put a GoFundMe link above this video. Click that link and donate as much as you can. This is a community effort. You make it possible. You make it possible. I make it possible. We do it all together as one family. So when they come out, they know that we did this together.
Right.
Not me.
That's right. Let's go.
All of us.
There you go. And that's what we're talking about, being selfless and giving back, and it not being just about you. You hear what the man said. He said, we together can make a difference, and we together can change lives. So thank you so much, man.
Thank you for having
Let
me.
everybody know where they can find you on social media.
They can find me on social media. Quentin Love. That's it.
And that's QUENTIN.
There you go.
LOVE. Everybody,
You got
ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Quentin Love, Turkey Chop and Bike Kettle.
Bike Kettle.
.com. Check them out. I've taken
Be
a
ready
spin
to
class,
sweat.
and I'll be back again. And it is a party on the bike. All right?
do it.
It's your man, Simeon Henderson. Well, we're giving a voice to the people. Thank you so much to my executive producer, Jamani Anamdi, my producer, Jose Perez, my marketing director, Ashley Easley. Thank you so very much for your support. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And remember, Philippians 4:13, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, and be symbolic, simply your best, because being deeply rooted stimulates growth. I'll see you next time. We out.